former pastor Presley Smith accused of buggery. Wow. A very interesting story. The last time we were here, we interviewed Presley Smith. He was sharing what he went through. And we're just going to pick up where we left off. We stopped at him being thrown in jail, beaten by men who heard of the accusations. Now, we need to know what really took place after that. Was granted bail. Presley, how are you?
I'm good.
It's nice to have you back, and seems as if you've gained a few pounds or two.
I think so.
COVID weight.
COVID weight, I suppose.
So it was very interesting to have you here the last time. It seems as if a lot of persons, I've been getting a lot of feedback from your story. A lot of persons were touched.
Likewise.
They was really touched, in all honesty, by what you went through and the bravery and the boldness that you mustered to actually share your experiences. And I'm thankful for that. I appreciate you sharing your experiences. But we have to pick up where we left off. You were thrown in jail, and after the whole fighting, pastor being in jail, fighting after the battling for your life, literally, it was said you were granted bail. Tell us more about that.
So after going through that whole ordeal, went to court. I think it was a Tuesday. Yes, it was a Tuesday. Following the whole fight and everything, the Tuesday, and you had the media, because the media is always there wanting to get something, and all of that. No, a lot of persons were there as well, because it being released in the paper the Sunday, and then what was released in the paper. So according to what was in the paper, they were saying that there are pictures, there are videos, and there is this conversation between the young man and myself. So I remember leading up to that, when the lawyer asked me, hey, is there anything I need to know? So I'm like, no, I don't have anything. So he's like, alright, they're saying that they have pictures, they have videos, and a possible conversation from your Facebook page with you and this person. So I'm like, okay, well, if them have that, I would love to see it, because I don't know of it. You know what I mean? Yeah, because in all honesty, there was nothing there. And I was confident, 100% confident that
there was no video, no
nothing,
graphic, no content that you were involved.
So I was like, well, if they have it, I would love to see it too, because apparently somebody who take on my physical looks and everything about what's up with me and know about. So yeah, so he was like, are you sure? I'm like, I'm positive. I am positive. So he's like, okay, cool. Well, let's see what they have, and then we'll know how to proceed. So we went to the court the Tuesday following that, and the judge because everybody there court, like whatever them say. So the officers are like, put something on their face, because the people I take pictures of them put a towel over me. I was in handcuffs, so I couldn't do anything. So one of the officers put a towel over my face, and we're going in. Apparently a lot of persons were there. So I went in and they had, I don't know what I'm calling it, but it's like a waiting area, because you have to wait until your case is called before you can go up. Yeah. So they went up. When I went up now, they emptied the courtroom. So I guess it was based on the nature of it, they emptied the courtroom. Now, I was there, my lawyer was there, the investigating officer was there, but the minor was not there. Neither were his family or parents.
Oh, okay.
So they were there, and they're like, okay, so it's supposed to be a bail or disclosure hearing, whatever them call it. So they were like, okay, the case was mentioned and the details surrounding the case, where they were saying, based on reports and the statements given, this is what happened, and they say they have this. So at that time now, they were saying that they had the guys must see computer at some lab doing a forensic audit or some forensic something because they were now testing everything.
His
to
DNA
get,
to see if there's
everything.
anything.
Yeah, well,
watching
I'm not
to
sure of
you.
the DNA, but I know about the devices.
Oh, okay,
Right?
okay.
Yeah,
okay.
because remember they said that they had videos,
Oh,
and
videos and all of that,
pictures,
so they were
and
just
so they
trying
were
to-
testing the DNAs. You know, they really say that whatever you have on a device, even if you delete it,
It's
really
never
not
really
deleted,
gone,
so
yeah,
it's there, so
never
they can
really
always
gone.
retrieve it. So they were saying that they were doing that, and also they wanted. I think they were asking for some permission. I might not be able to say everything because certain things that can't be said based on court and But and then they were asking permission to access Facebook and WhatsApp to get
Messages
some
or
messages
whatever.
and whatever could have been
Communication,
deleted
yeah.
or whatever. So they're like, yeah, my lawyer said, do the thing. And the court said, do the thing, do all that you need to do to investigate this. So they're like, yeah. So then they set the bail at 450 grand. So yeah, so 450 grand for me to go. So alright, did what they had to. So pretty much that was the court for that day. So bail was posted by somebody that I least expect. I'm gonna be honest, I didn't expect it. I really didn't expect it.
I think we touched on that the last time too, that somebody who we least expected.
Yeah, we least expected. I think it was more for a personal talk.
Yeah.
Least expected it too, because I honestly didn't expect that. And it was also a member of the church who she was like, yo, I'm doing this for him. Truly, and she did that, and to this day I'm very much humbled and honored and grateful for that, right? So she did that, and bail was extended, was set, and I came out the Friday, yeah. So when I came out the Friday, I remember being there, and when I heard my name the Friday, like I was in the cell at the Clarkstone station. When I heard my name the Friday, I fly out faster than before them could have finished pronouncing the prep, me reach out, like, yeah, me there. And they were like, well, time for you to go. Oh God, me grab everything. I was ready to go.
Not a favorable experience.
I'm telling you, I was ready to go. And I was immediately, that overwhelming feeling came, and I was like, yeah. Then we went to the Duncan's courthouse, the courthouse at Duncan's, because I guess that's where they were processing everything. So they gave what they call a bail bond, which is the details of the reporting that I should report Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and what time.
That happens up until now?
No, man, no.
Okay.
And so I had to report to the police station
every week, basically.
Every week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Every Monday, every Wednesday, every Friday, whether a public holiday or not.
Wow.
So I got what I call a bail band, so I had to now go with that to the station and also a book for them to write in to say I visited and whatever. So yeah, and when we went there and I got it now, so was there some members of the congregation are there. We hugged and we talk and whatever. And I was really playing tough at that time, because to be honest, I wanted to break down.
Yeah.
But I was really playing tough and thing. Yeah. So I remember Sharon and Alia and Susie and Whitney and they were there, and I'm like, Sharon and everybody. I was like, yeah, cool. So play tough now and go on. The minute I went into the vehicle, it was Auntie Yvonne, my fiance at the time, her aunt, that was carrying me to part of the way to meet with Monroe now to come into Kingston. So I remember when the car drove off, and the minute the windows went up and the car drove off, I want to start running.
Yeah.
And I started putting down a piece of cowball. Ball like I was just cowball, the sobbing, the I read the nose not to run, everything proper breakdown, fully vulnerable, highly emotional, overwhelming, depressing, all the words you can think of, type of.
Because everything has been building up.
Everything has been bottled in.
Yeah.
So now everything was finally coming out.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you, I put on a piece of eyeball. I don't know if you know the journey from Duncan's Trelawney all the way to St. Anne's Bay.
That sounds far.
It was like literally about an hour.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you, Perry,
the entire journey.
I ball like proper bawling for the entire journey. I mean, to my ball, me have one towel, and you could have literally wring out the towel and it could have probably washed somebody's foot to the amount of eye water. Me I tell you, it's a proper body. And on top of that, now, when we left Falmouth to go St. Anne's Bay to meet him, a car drive we down.
But we have to pause. Presley Smith is back with us.
Yeah.
A very extraordinary journey he has experienced as a former pastor who was accused of a treacherous act. He is now coming out, and he has been coming out to share his side of the story. Was in jail. He's now bailed. Let's stay tuned. We'll be back. Presley Smith has been shown an extraordinary journey. What he went through has somehow resulted in a car chase. Presley Smith, tell us more about that.
Yeah, so when we left Duncan's going into St. Anne's now to come into Kingston, when we little bit after, or probably it was before, no, it was before, little bit before we got to Discovery Bay, we realized that there was this car behind us, So at first we were saying, no, probably somebody go somewhere. So Auntie Yvonne was like, you know what? Let me stop and make sure. So when she stopped, the car stopped. Then she continued driving, the car continued driving. So we're like, okay, no, this is,
a bit
this
weird.
is weird. So then she said, all right, drive a little bit, stopped again. When she stopped again, realized the car stopped again, but a little bit closer to us. So she's like, no man, this not sounding right. But me busy a ball, So as much as I look to see what going or see if I could recognize anybody in the car, which I really couldn't, because it was heavily tinted.
Yeah.
So she drove again, car started again. So she started testing it one more time. She made a third stop. And then when we made the third stop, realized the car also made a third stop, but again a little bit closer. She said, all right. So she got all into this defensive driving thing now and start do road, like a car chase, do road. So we speed up, so the car speed up. And then it was crazy. So we're like, so we started panicking, and me still there about. And they're panicking. My mother was there panicking too, and they were like, oh God, this is somebody driving over queue. I said, all right, cool. So she said, oh good man. And she started just praying while she drive, and she had drive and turned off till eventually we got to Runaway Bay, and she turned off in the Runaway Bay police station. And the stoplight leading up to that, the car made the other turn. And we stayed there for a while, just watching to see if anything. Again, me in the car, I put on proper body. And kept driving. Then, we stayed there for a while, and we came out, started driving again. When we started driving again, I realized that the car was not there. No matter how we looked, it was not. So we said, all right, good. And telling me still proper balling, man. I ball out till we reach close to Mama Bear. We reached close to Mama Bear. Like, I was crying so much that, I don't know how to put it, but I was so broken. And I just a ball. And anybody know me, say, me and somebody are crying.
Yeah.
I don't
so
know.
just that moment
that
must have been very different for
and
you.
even then looking at my mother, she was like it's almost like she was just as broken as I am, because she's not used to me crying. To be honest, as much as she raised me, grew me, and nurtured me, my mother is not used to me being a vulnerable person, because I'm never normally vulnerable around a person. No matter who you be, I'm not vulnerable around you, right? So for everybody, it was just so heartbreaking to see me see me like that, And even my sister called and was trying to comfort me, but instead of she comfort me, she started back on the phone. So it's like nobody know what to say or what to do, and it was hard for them to say anything. You know what I'm saying? Until Auntie was like, me not have nothing to say, but she had drive and she just said, give me a hand. And she stretched her other hand behind and just hold my hand, and she had drive and she just started pray. And she just started praying. She just started praying. And I remember, like, while she was there praying, I automatically just felt this calm come over me, and this sense of peace and comfort came over me. And it was in that moment that I just the tears just went. The tears just went, and I made a heavy sigh, and the tears just went, and I felt some form of peace for that little moment. So eventually we went to Miami Bay, met up with Monroe, switched cars, and we went back to Kingston. Antigua went back to Lucy. Cool. Came to Kingston, and that very same Friday, I had to reach at the police station by a certain time to report. And remember, I was coming all the way from Chilani. And they must say, oh, if you don't make it in, brother, you know, it's a straight back at jail. I come. And we're like, I'm telling you, I'm gonna put on a piece of driving for reach back in a Kingston, so we could have done that. I'm gonna tell you. But we did make it in time, and we did the reporting and everything. At the time, I was gonna be staying with my cousin because growing up in the ghetto, Grand Spain ghetto, then everybody was saying this might not be the safest place for you now, given the nature of the situation. So I went to stay with my cousin, off Malines Road, East Park Garden, somewhere there. Yeah, and staying with my cousin at the time, she was living alone, and I stayed there for some time, probably about 3 weeks or so, or maybe a little bit longer, but it wasn't over a month though. Yeah, until eventually she was like, you know, because at the time, to be honest with you, Perry, I was getting, when I say crazy, I mean crazy demonic attacks.
Wow.
Crazy demonic attacks. And then my cousin, she was scared. To an extent, I was scared because it kept bringing me back to the fact that, hey, you get a dream and then this happened. So every time I got a demonic attack, I get so scared because I'm like, what's going to come next? You know what I mean? Until eventually, one time my cousin was like, you know, she's going to have company for the weekend. So I forgot chill with somebody for the weekend until the company got. So I was like, cool. So I linked one of my brethren them. And to be honest, when we linked my brethren, I wasn't expecting to get a yes because I remember no friend was communicating with me now. So all the friends I had, all of a sudden my phone dry up.
Yeah,
nobody
because and we're going to continue. I just wanted to interject here because you know you've basically finished up the aspect of your experience when accused. We're getting into now family, friends, and we're gonna get to the church. But how they really respond? You mentioned that there was no friends really at the time, so you're basically alone. Continue, though,
so, yeah, because during that time, the only friend I heard something from was Monroe as a friend per se. And you know, Sharice, we were talking. She was there with Monroe most of the time. She would call me, she would text me, and she would come and visit as well. You know, even though we did have our fallout after, which I won't go into, but we did have our fallout afterwards, like probably about 2 months afterwards, and it was nothing relating to the situation. Because to be honest with you, she was one of the persons who was like, listen, I don't care what's been said about you, I know who you are, so I'm not going to go by what I hear, I'm going to go by what I know. Right? And I appreciate her for that, right? But yeah, at that time, so normally my phone would be on my friends that I talked. After that, like my phone went dry. No friend to send a message or anything. It was just Monroe, my mother, my family, right? My sister.
So family was really like, supportive.
My family was very supportive. My 2 sisters, my nieces and nephew, they checked on everything, you know, checked in regularly. And again, Monroe, my friend. Outside of that was it. Yeah. So when I was there now, and so I link one of my other friend now, Rajiv, and I say, oh, can I go cute for the weekend? I really, to be honest with you, I wasn't expecting to hear what I say. Give it a shot, because I really didn't want to go. Because the picture painted is if you go to Grand Spain, going to a ghetto, everybody
probably have a
dead.
Probably have a
dead. Try to avoid it at all means. You know what I mean? So then he was like, yo, my mother keep asking for you, and I say, oh, if you want chill, you can come. So I was like, oh, cool. I appreciate that. So I went by them for the weekend, which was supposed to be the Friday, Saturday, and come back on my cousin on Monday. So the Friday, Saturday, Sunday, come back on my cousin on Monday. So while I was there now, I saw a message coming from my phone, my cousin. I say, yo, I don't think I can deal with this anymore. And so you probably have to go just find someone permanently. And I was like, oh shit. So I automatically, when I see that message, I shut down, because I'm like, yo, in the midst of all of this, I say, yo, and your family, you know, family's supposed to have family back, right? And I shut down. I didn't say anything to Rajiv, but Rajiv was like, he was one of the friends I had from back then, like we close like that. So he realized something was off, and he must say, "Oh, what go on?" So I said, "I'm a good man," and he was like, "No, you're not good. What really are going?" And he was like, "A true one," because he was saying to me one day, for because everything probably I have some flashback right now. I said, "No, man, that is good." And I said, "Proceed, damn, man." And then I eventually showed him the message, and I said, and he said, "Yo, that's at the least. Won't ask my mother, and you chill." So, and it was actually his mother, father, his two sisters, and his brother, Kashif. You know, so he spoke with mother, and she said, "Yeah, man, he can stay here for a while." You know what I mean? And I was really appreciative of that. So I just went by my cousin, got her some and stuff, and you know, I started kicking it with them for a while. I didn't have any money to say, "Oh, me I go contribute." I literally never have nothing to say me I contribute, because at the time now I was not broke, because the little that I had went to a lawyer, so I'm entirely broke.
Homeless.
Pretty much
Basically,
homeless, you have to say. And this was where the whole bounce around started, and I'm like, God Almighty, that I would never be comfortable like being in someone else's space like that, because I've always probably been too independent, as I would say. I've always been an independent man, probably too independent. So I don't see myself being comfortable in somebody's space like that, knowing say, "Oh, somebody I feel adjust them life, feel accommodate me."
And then you're not even able to contribute in a way.
And exactly, and I'm not able to contribute. So me I say, "Oh, this is rough, this is a mess." And for no say me I come from a place where I have everything for myself, can do everything for myself. It's rough. But to be honest with you, for the time that I was with them, it was some of the best moments I had, to be honest, with them. Like, their family made me feel a part of a family. So I didn't feel judged. I didn't get any question, like, oh, some people question why them that said it. I never got any. It's like they're literally saying, when I was there with them, it was literally them saying, "Listen, we know you, so we are going to know. We're not going to here." And I was somewhat comfortable. And the reason when I say somewhat comfortable, I'm not saying that they did anything to make me uncomfortable, but I'm just saying from a personal standpoint, knowing that I had nothing to contribute, knowing that knowing that somebody was not adjusting themselves to facilitate me, that made me uncomfortable. But it's not because
of what they did or
them
whatever.
doing anything, because they did, like, if it were them alone, I would be 100% comfortable, right? Because they opened their home to me. I could do pretty much about anything, right? So yeah, I was very much comfortable, and I appreciate that to this very day. I know say as much as I have it now, but any day name day God bless me enough to have it, me have to give back some. Because like nobody are gonna stick in somebody them house, so especially a stranger, and just say,
and know the stories behind why you're even there,
and just open themselves to somebody. So man, I was to this day I'm moved every time I think about it. You know what I mean? And then eventually when my time there came to an end, because so the facilitating for some time. So you can't stay there. Exactly. And then when that came to an end, one of my other friends say, "Yo, come stay with me now." And I said, "All right. I mean, if it's not a problem." So he was there with his brother and his grandmother. I won't call the name, but the person will know who they are. And that gesture alone, I felt so good as another friend. You know what I mean? And I went there, mark you, the friend and his brother, they were like, they took me like a brother. But man, the grandmother, whew, that was some of the worst experience ever in my life. Like, I've never felt so judged in my life. I've never felt so condemned in my life. And this is a prayer warrior from another church in my denomination too. And I mean, I never felt so judged and condemned in my life. Like, every move you make is like a judgment. And then some words and stuff were said that is just piercing to the skin.
I understand.
And I was like, I don't know, I can't do this. So eventually I was like, you know what? I'm going to make a tough decision, and I'm going to go all the way to Clarendon. I'm a sister. And at the time I started working, it wasn't really much at the time. I just started working in a call center. And it wasn't much. And I was like, I will go to Clarendon, and whatever money me I make, I will use it to pay my transportation from all the way at Blackwoods Clarendon, come at Kingston every day and go back every day just to not be in this toxic environment. I couldn't do it.
Presley Smith says it was a toxic environment when he met upon a grandmother who, well, opened her home to him in a sense, but she was judgmental in a way that she probably looked at his situation and what the stories that were being said. She was not so understanding as the other persons who were like, I know you, I'll not go with what I hear. We will get more into how Christians and church folk treated the situation, the allegations against Presley Smith. How did the church took it? What was the response? Stay tuned and remember to stay in Christ.
Hey, thank you guys so much for watching these clips so far. I really do hope that you are encouraged and that you'll come to realize that no matter what you go through in life, no matter how many persons turn their backs on you, no matter how people treat you, you still have the power to rise above everything you face in life. Use your obstacles as fuel and stepping stones to go forward. The best is yet to come. I don't care what you're going through. Just remember, the best is yet to come.